I've got this set right. Maybe not. Is that better? Okay. Dr. Levine, thank you for the invitation to address this impressive group of scholars. My knees are shaking, and I'm praying I can do this without too much crying, but it is an honor to look into these faces, the faces of people I've grown to deeply admire, even if we are meeting for the very first time today. My talk is a slightly expanded version of an essay I wrote for Professor Matthews. Many of us would not have made it through this program without her. The title is Legacy. Many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. No one winds up in the BIS program without a backstory. The condensed version of mine is that I married young, had 3 children, and life got busy. Finishing my degree was always in the back of my mind. Partly, I'm sure, because in a nearby fold of gray cells, I knew it mattered to the women who mattered to me. My mom, Moana Midgley, wanted for me what she never had. Her story, after all, was very much like mine, with twice as many kids and not quite enough time. Although in a gift of compassion and respect for human dignity, Professor Andrews gave her a way to express herself, even as she observed our Maymester class in the last days of her life. My family will be forever grateful. My mother-in-law, I'm not going to look at my family. My mother-in-law, Jackie Clint, wanted for me and her grandchildren the same security and education provided to raise 2 children on her own in the 1960s. But someday kept getting pushed further and further down the road. Everything changed the day our youngest daughter walked the lawn in 2014. As Annie worked her way through the School of Nursing, yay, UVA kept sending notices about the BIS program. Sounds interesting, I thought, but of course I was too busy for that. Oldest of 6, I had attended my share of graduations. None could compete with the pageantry at Mr. Jefferson's University. It was a gorgeous spring day, a little cooler than today. We arrived before 7 to get an aisle seat, with the rotunda decked out and banners heralding a wave of scholars robed in academic regalia. Pomp and circumstance began to play, and I began to cry. I could not stop. Knowing intimately what it took for my daughter to arrive at that moment, I wondered, as the jubilant graduates passed, what have you overcome? What have you accomplished to be here? I celebrated every unknown victory with a fleeting hug for the newly minted nurse who found her way into my arms as she nearly danced down the lawn. I did not think I could be any more inspired. Then they came. I knew exactly who they were. The University of Virginia Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies class of 2014, including 70-year-old Jerry Reed. Longevity showed in their eyes, and I knew, without a doubt, they were just as busy as I, but somehow they found a way. Time froze. In that precise instant, I made up my mind. If they could do it, so could I. The next morning, I called to learn what I needed to do to enroll in the BIS program. 5 years later, I know more of the stories, more of your stories. I know what have you overcome? What have you accomplished to be here? I know a student who speaks with passion of sons and grandsons being racially profiled. I know a student who turned the grief of losing a child into comforting mourners at Arlington. I know a student who fulfilled the capstone requirement with a newborn in the neonatal intensive care unit. I know a student who participated in Semester at Sea. I know a student who is a police officer. I know a student who did time. I know students learning and writing in a second language. I know students who served in the military. I know many, many students working full-time while making education a priority. I know students caring for children. I know students caring for parents. I know students mourning loss. I know students celebrating new life. I know a student taken too soon. Yes, no one enters the BIS program without a backstory. And at least for this proud who, all of those stories, past, present, and future, have become a part of mine, including the heart-stopping 2019 National Basketball Championship. It's honestly a wonder any of us live to see this day. Standing here, I now know what all of you know. Just as no one enters the BIS program without a backstory, no one graduates without a network of support. None of us would be here without a team. Oh dear, I don't want to look at them either. Of caring professors, administrators, and support staff helping us every step of the way. Each graduate joins me in thanking beloved family and friends, the people who urged us to keep going when we couldn't bear the thought of writing one more paper. If your family is like mine, they came from across the country, and for some of you, the world, to celebrate with us. We love you and we thank you. Finally, oh dear, I honor you, my fellow graduates. Every one of you has added to the story of the BIS program by facing and conquering the challenges that could not stop you from being here today. For me, it may have taken 37 years, but inspired and motivated by you, the University of Virginia Interdisciplinary Studies Class of 2019, I just walked where my daughter once stood, at last. And I want to believe my two moms were looking down with joy. Thank you, congratulations.